Man, when I came across this, I was like, Etika is a gift to the world. I was watching this yesterday. Are you guys down to watch this with me? Because I feel like he explained so well a concept that I've tried to explain to guys that is very, very hard. And that I think, one, will help a lot of people out there. And two, I think it'll mean more coming from a guy than coming from a girl. Because people always hit me with the,
you can't ask a fish how to be a fisherman.
Or whatever the fuck. Like, you can't ask girls how to get girls. But like, I know a thing or two, okay? But I do understand why certain things not only are like, are more relatable from a guy's perspective, but I think guys will sometimes have an easier time like knowing how to explain things properly to other guys.
Well, I mean,
it's pretty
natural
good
to get nervous. I mean, that's not like uncommon. I mean,
so he talking about shy boys.
To the person that you're interested in.
And I feel like there are a lot of shy boys out there who like have a good heart, but like don't know how to have that translate into getting a girl's interest.
Well, I mean, it's natural to get nervous. I mean, that's not like uncommon. I mean, you're going to get nervous when you talk to the person that you're interested in. You have to make sure that you, okay, here's another thing, right? Don't suck her dick. Make it so you have fun. You play around, but at the end of the day, you're still like nice to her. Like, I mean, like this is an interaction technique that applies to everyone. Male, female, associate, best friend, no matter who it is, workplace environment or whatever, there is always, never one or the other. It's always a combination of both to certain degrees, a degree of push and a degree of pull. I wish somebody taught me what I'm about to tell you when I was younger.
Sorry to be a pausing Andy, but this is, you know, I feel bad just playing a video in its entirety. I'm gonna stop apologizing for this. I'm here to stream, I'm here to talk. If you don't like it, you can look up the video on your own and watch it. And this applies to anything that I watch. And I'm not even saying that in like an angry manner. If you ever just want to watch the video in its entirety, please just look it up. I don't mind. But I want to add to that and say, I feel like a lot of guys have trouble understanding this, even when it comes to friendship, because I can sense that men tend to skew either heavily one way or heavily the other way. Like either they are afraid of complimenting you and don't want to do anything that could resemble anything that is like too nice, or they're just like overly clearly attracted to you. And he kind of talks about this later, like people being afraid of just like throwing out a compliment or something. But you can have a nice regular in between. Yeah, I feel like sometimes people get like so scared of simping or so scared of coming off like they want you, that they can't even really be nice to you or treat you like a friend unless like it's really, really clear, or if you're a tomboy or whatever it is.
I don't talk about this in regular
and
streams.
it kind of makes like male-female friendships really hard sometimes,
because it just feels as if the knowledge will go wasted on some people. Some people don't acknowledge this. Do you know what?
Ooh, to put it in simpler terms, I feel like people are either like sucking my dick or so scared of looking like they're sucking my dick that they're just being kind of an asshole, and I don't really become interested in being friends with them. It's so hard to find someone who's like in between, and he's like, and that's just treating you like a person. Oh, like, yeah, maybe we'll be friends, maybe we won't. People are usually like walking on eggshells. Oh my God, did I say something that could be misinterpreted? I can't say I like anything about her, or else maybe I'm gonna be simping and she'll think I'm in love. It's not that deep, bro.
Nice guy syndrome is, it's people that use too much pull and not enough push.
True.
This doesn't just apply to getting with a chick. It doesn't just apply to, you know, sleeping with a chick one night.
I feel like it sucks because people talk so much about nice guys finishing last when, and then you'll have people like me who are like, no, like a lot of girls want to date a nice guy, but it's so hard to explain that It depends on the type of nice guy. There are people with nice guy syndrome where they are just like sucking your D all the time. I don't know what other term to use because you guys get what I mean when I say that. And then there are guys who are just nice but treat you like a human being. And they're both nice guys technically, but I do understand why people on one end of the spectrum have a harder time entering relationships. Does that make sense? I think that makes sense.
I mean, you could use it for those things. A girl could use it to get with a guy really quick. I mean, guys with girls, girls with guys. But I mean, at the end of the day here, where it truly matters is interactions with regular individuals, human beings that you meet on a regular basis. This is something that I learned myself, and I use it every day. I mean, not to the benefit of being able to get closer to people, but I find it fun too. Degrees of interaction with other human beings, and this is not something I would ever say in a regular live stream, but interacting with another human being involves a certain degree of push.
Yes.
You don't just appeal to their desires to make them feel comfortable and you bring them in. No. What have you guys ever had it where someone complimented you and you felt like, oh, stop it, oh, you know, you're being too nice, or oh, you know, that feeling doesn't just come from being humble. That's actual pressure, anxiety, tension built up from the expectations of the individual giving you said compliments because there's no relief. They just continue to lay on the compliments, continue to make you feel special, encourage you, compliment you to the point where you feel awkward. Don't you feel awkward when someone compliments you too much? Not necessarily speaking to the nature of that person, but because it's like, you know, oh, you know, I'm not that special, you know, chill. I'm not trying to like come out here feel like a celebrity. Every time someone compliments you, it builds up pressure. Depending on the nature of the compliment, it builds it up a little bit more or a little bit less. But the point is that it builds pressure, expectation, tension. If you have somebody who comes up to you, how many times have you had if somebody comes up to you on the street and they're like, yo, oh yeah, listen man, I want to talk to you. You look like such a great individual. I really want to break it down to you, my situation, because you look like someone that will listen to me. I mean, here in New York City, homeless people come up to you on a regular basis and they consistently butter you up, give you compliments, pressure you to give them something. And that's the thing. Doesn't it make you say, okay, what do you want from me? You keep building up all these expectations. You keep complimenting me. You keep giving me all these things that make me feel like I'm a good person. What do you want?
True. So I want to make it very clear. I feel like sometimes people take advice like in too much of a binary manner. When people are like, be nice, they are only nice and they only give compliments. Or when people are like, oh, do some push and pull, then they'll never give someone a compliment and kind of be an asshole and also not really incentivize anyone to date them. So I think the biggest thing to take away is the push and pull. It's a bit of both. In the same way that I was talking about, like if someone comes up to you and they're just like overly complimenting you, you're gonna assume that they want something from you. And that works the same way in regular relationships or friendships or someone that you're pursuing. If you lay it on too thick, oh, that's a good way to put it. That saying, if you lay it on too thick, people are going to be uncomfortable because they're going to think you want something from them. And I mean, you do. Let's be clear. You want some of that poontang, but you can't make it too obvious and you can't feel them pressure and you can't make them feel pressured about it. Okay.
The pressure from those interactions is built up. This is something that everybody should teach their children, I feel, because it would help them to all that pressure being built up from compliments and over the top like condolences. I mean, it builds it to a point where it's awkward, because if you're with somebody who compliments you to the point where you're like, okay, you know, like it's really not that serious, you feel like I need to back away from you. Like it's like, okay.
Oh, and to add on to that, I feel like in the past, when I started seeing guys that I felt complimented me a bit too much, and I know it's such like a dumb thing to complain about. It sounds like a dumb thing to complain about. Oh, someone is like being too nice to me. It actually made me, I really thought about it once, and I realized that the reason it makes me uncomfortable is because they must like the idea of me a lot more than they like me if they say all of these things. Because in reality, like, sure, there are good things to me and there's some not as good things to me. I'm still just a human. I am not worthy of being treated like a goddess. No one is, or a god, or like any sort of royalty. And I think the best relationships and the most comfortable relationships come from someone realizing all of the sides to you and liking you for you in a very like almost chill manner. You know what I mean? In a non-pressuring manner. Falls Poki WK. Thank you. I appreciate that. And I do also feel like to some degree it's less serious and a lot easier to be this way online. For example, like if you watch someone's YouTube videos or someone on Instagram or even on stream where you're like, oh my god, like all I've seen is things that I like from them. They just play games and they're like this and I like that. Like I get that. It's much easier to come to that conclusion when it's a parasocial relationship. I believe that's what it is. But it comes off very weird when it's someone that you know personally and hang out with and etc.
Chill, nigga. Like, I'm not. What do you want?
What do you
from me?
want?
Why are you doing all this? Like,
Yes.
you're saying all this shit, and this is the nice guy syndrome. This is the field that a lot of guys fall into. If they meet a girl, they're like, "Oh, you're so beautiful. I can't get over how stunning you look. Your outfit's amazing. I love your makeup. Your dress is outstanding." And it's just like the girls are like, okay, are you?" Like, how, like, are you a fucking rapist? I mean, they don't think.
Okay, maybe not
joking.
that.
But, you know, a lot of the time, they're just like, yo, chill, nigga. Like, fuck. I'm going to tell you guys now exactly what you need to know, in my personal opinion, which will help you out. All that pressure that's built, it's all about push and pull. Whether it be a little bit of push and a ton of pull, or a little bit of pull and a ton of push. Every human interaction that you have, whether it be with a significant other, a person of the opposite gender, or a person of the same gender, anyone you meet in life, the key to establishing a solid relationship with that human being, any human you meet, is a good balance of push and pull.
True.
You need to make sure that while you let them know that you're interested in establishing some sort of interaction with them, a pull, that you're also willing to have fun, joke around, and play games.
And not take things too seriously.
Once you master the art of push and pull, you're
unstoppable.
Far better, whether it be on the platonic level or the actual intimate level.
I watched this last night, and it fucking sent me when he said plutonic. Because I think it's platonic, but then when he said plutonic, I thought of like poontonic, and I need to stop.
And I have a lot of references I can use for this, but the main thing to understand is that some people require a little bit of push and a ton of pull, where, you know, you joke around, you make light laughter, banter on a small level, and you pull a ton. Or the opposite, you make a ton of jokes, you clown them, you bullshit, and then you have a little bit of pull. It depends on who you're talking to.
Yeah.
Obviously, you know, there's a bunch of human beings out there. You have to change up your approach depending on.
Yeah, some girls prefer like a lot of lovey-dovey and a bit of joking. Some girls prefer a lot of joking and a bit of lovey-dovey. But it's about finding the right balance for the person that you're talking to.
On who you're interacting with. But I mean, always go in there with at least a little bit of 50-50. As you see how their personality is, a lot of guys that I've met, you know, sometimes they like a lot of pull and a little bit of push. Sometimes they like a lot of push and a little bit of pull. It depends. But you can
I
never...
fucked up a relationship with a girl that I liked because I did too much push. Yeah, it'd be like that sometimes. I'm pretty sure there were guys in the past that were interested in me. I mean, just the hunch that I got. But they were so afraid of seeming interested in me that they kind of just like acted annoying around me. Like sometimes when someone shits on you too much or tries too hard to joke around, but you're not really comfy about it yet, it comes off the wrong way as well. So I think it's so hard to give good relationship advice because it's about learning that balance, and that balance can't be taught. Strategies can be taught for learning the balance, but it ultimately comes down to practice and experience. That's how you master it.
Never ever go in 100% pull or 100% push.
Yeah.
I've explained what pull is: compliments, buttering them up, making them feel nice, encouragement, personality boost, you know, stuff to make them say, oh, stop it, you know, you need to, I'm not that special or whatever. That's the pull. What's a push? They give you give a bunch of compliments, you give a bunch of stuff, and then you're like, wait a minute, it's dark in here, I don't see anything, you could be ugly as fuck for all I care. That's a fucking push. That's the push. When you make a joke, because the thing is, the pressure that's built up from constant compliments and constant pull, the pressure that's built from that, when you tell a good joke, it relieves every single amount of that pressure.
True.
So no longer are you working with like, oh, are you a fucking weirdo trying to like, you know, take advantage of me? No, you work with this guy's he's a funny guy. He's a comedy artist. He's a fucking idiot. He's a stupid ass, and that relieves all of that pressure. You have to learn how to be good at jokes to utilize the push-pull method, whether it be an associate at work, someone you're trying to establish a better connection with when it comes to getting things done, or whether it be a romantic interest. You have to get the hang of push-pull. You have to understand whether the person you're interacting with likes a lot of push or a lot of pull. How many times has it been that we've interacted with someone and it seems like they cut ass on each other? They make huge jokes on each other just for the benefit of, you know, making fun. But that's not the way it works. Deep down, you may not see it, but there's actually pull involved in that. They let each other know in very subtle ways, you're a cool person. I'm interested in you. I like you. I like spending time around you. But they use push to emphasize that. It's a little bit weird. I don't know if all of you guys understand. I gotta use the bathroom. I gotta piss. I've been drinking a lot of alcohol. Give me a second.
Man, when I came across this, I was like, Etika is a gift to the world. Because this is gold, guys. You don't even know. I've had such trouble trying to explain this concept to people, and I feel like it's the key between a lot of people that have a good heart and getting into a relationship. Like, this is what can bridge that gap.